Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As most of you already know from one of my previous videos which I had made in Bengali about the impact of the National Education Policy or NEP of 2020. After that implementation, the MPhil degree or the Masters of Philosophy degree in India is about to be scrapped. But that degree is almost 1.5 years old now. And even after that, in the year 2021, many universities admitted students to the MPhil program. And even in 2022, we can see many universities like Kolkata University in West Bengal and some others who are openly asking for students for their MPhil programs. So, is MPhil a dead degree? Or is there something more to it that we are not able to see? What are the advantages of doing an MPhil degree, and why did people pursue it in the past? And why at all is it being discontinued in the new era of Indian education? This video is all about that. So without wasting any more time, let us begin. The MPhil degree used to serve as the perfect bridge between a master's degree and a PhD degree for those of us who wanted to pursue higher education. But ever since the allowance of people directly into a PhD after they complete their master degree, after the increased importance of the NET exam in India, MPhil became a rather dubious degree to begin with even before the NEP of 2020. People were often wondering, why should I waste 2 years for a degree like MPhil, where in most cases the coursework I would do for an MPhil would not be granted in the PhD I would eventually go to register at. In some cases they are excused. For example, if I did my MPhil from the University of Delhi Department of English, and then if I again register for a PhD at the same department at the same university, then and only then will my coursework which I had done for my MPhil be considered. There are some other universities which do consider a coursework in the same subject in a different university, but they are more of an exception as compared to the general rule. For example, IITs do not consider any kind of coursework you have done from any institute. They make you do their coursework anyway. So what exactly is the importance of this degree? In addition to being a transitory degree or teaching you the basics of research, this degree also prepares you for the PhD. It teaches you some basic skills like citations, which are not often taught at the master's degree level. It teaches you things like how to make a bibliography, how to write a research proposal, how to do a literature review. By the way, in this context, let me mention, right when I began this channel in April 2021, which is almost a year ago now, I had made a very lengthy 1-hour video on how to write a dissertation proposal, how to go about writing your dissertation, so on and so forth. I will put the link somewhere upwards so that you can go and watch it in case you haven't, where I have talked about this process in detail. But the question which we are now faced with is, why is the degree being discontinued at all? Why is there an urge to do away with this MPhil degree and directly promote students to a PhD, or not promote, maybe to push students to a PhD degree directly after they have finished their MA? Well, this has to do with an imitation with the system of education in the West, and also a subtle hint of disapproving of higher education research in India. If you think about it really carefully, you will realize that in the STEM subjects or in the science subjects, MPhil was never a popular degree to begin with. I have several of my acquaintances who have pursued their higher degrees in science, and they have often told me that in our branches we don't really have an MPhil. People generally directly go for a PhD after they have completed their masters. So what is this? Is this an attempt to derail the students of humanities and social sciences? If so, why is this attempt being taken forward? If you think about it really carefully, you will realize that in addition to it being a subtly advanced move to ensure that the competition is being thinned out and only the best of the best remain. In addition to that, this scrapping of the MPhil degree is also telling us that in the future, the prospects of higher education are going to diminish over time, especially for the students of humanities. If you take the example of English, a subject which I have pursued for the last 8 years, then you will realize that the permanent recruitments in West Bengal or in India have decreased over time. Even if you take the instance of Delhi, where I was for 6 months physically and for 1.5 years virtually when I was pursuing my MPhil there, most recruitments which happen are in the ad hoc system or in the yearly contractual system. Everyone who is getting recruited now, except for exams like the CSC or the PSC or other states public service commission exams or central government's recruitments, most of them are all full-time contractual teachers. And what does this exactly imply? This implies that in the future, the possibility of having a permanent job where they cannot throw you out unless something absolutely extreme happens is going to vanish. This is another step towards the decentralization of educational resources and the privatization of education as well. Of course, in government institutions, there are some requirements like you have to pass a NET to directly qualify for the interview, or you have to sit for the RET, Research Entrance Test, for several universities. And in some universities like the Central University of Hyderabad, they don't consider NET at all. You directly have to sit for their exam, whether it be for an MPhil or whether it be for a PhD. So if you ask me a question, which is a question which has been asked to me several times in the past by my juniors, by people who want to continue their career in academia, that if I get a chance to pursue an MPhil degree anywhere, should I take it? Well, in my opinion, it depends on your situation. What situation, you ask? Let me tell you. Well, by situation, I mean most importantly your financial situation. If you are belonging to such a family where you don't have an urge to get a job very quickly, then you can pursue your MPhil, because it basically means a 2-year addition to you getting a job, because in the near future it is going to become absolutely impossible to get a job at any institute of higher education at a teaching position without a completed PhD, so, or at least a registered PhD. So if you're doing your MPhil, that could potentially push back your employment possibilities by a margin of 2 years. If you are okay with that, then you can do it. And if you are very serious about research, that I want to do it absolutely perfectly, taking every possible step in the way that I can, then also you can pursue your MPhil. In these days, PhD is becoming more and more a degree which people are pursuing for its logistical advantages as compared to its academic flavor or its academic brilliance. But that is a topic which would be someone's personal choice, and I am absolutely a nobody to comment on who does what degree for what purpose. If they have secured a seat, then they are free to do it for whatever reason they see fit. But the issue here remains that even if you want to do an MPhil in the near future, I don't think you will get an opportunity after the year 2022. One of the biggest universities of India with probably the highest number of seats in MPhil, the University of Delhi, recently uploaded a document where it said that it will discontinue its MPhil from the year 2022 to 2023 henceforth. And though there are some universities outside West Bengal which still are taking people for its MPhil, I don't think this will continue for very long. But there are some people whom I know who are pursuing MPhil presently and have started the degree in the year 2021. And I don't think they will suffer much of a loss. They might not get the 0.5 for MPhil in the academic point index column where they are going to be recruited, but it will definitely give them some sort of a logistical advantage nonetheless. That being said, if you are wanting to pursue your higher education, my piece of advice, very humbly, would be don't just apply for an MPhil, apply for a PhD as well. If you get through a PhD, then there is literally no point of doing an MPhil, because MPhil is nothing but a stepping stone to do a PhD. If you get a PhD, then you are basically making the point of doing an MPhil null and void. So don't just try for an MPhil, something which I did in the year 2019. I was very stupid and NEP was not a thing back then, but I am suffering a little bit because of that. But if you are wanting to pursue your higher education, apply for both MPhils and PhDs. Of course, you are also free to apply for just PhDs as well, but my piece of advice is don't apply for MPhils exclusively with the hope that it will brighten your career or you will get to learn something. You will, but it will not give you such a huge amount of logistical advantage that it used to give even like 3-4 years back. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions, queries, doubts or comments, please don't forget to leave them down in the comments. And of course, if you have any suggestions, they are also welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I will see everyone in the next video. Till then, hasta la vista.